All right, so hello, all the beautiful people out there. I hope you're doing well. I currently am not. I am actually. I may seem calm and I may seem like everything's under control, but like even with my anti-anxiety medication, I'm still struggling to um keep my composure, and keep everything, keep it 100. Um, So I suffer from certain mental health situations, and I put out a different video talking about how I think I might have like autism. I recently just went through the VA and got an ADHD screening, but I'm not going to find out about the results until the end of next month. And there's just other things piling on. My career has been lambasted, has been like halted from both a combination of myself, my medical issues, and other extenuating circumstances. But now it's like I'm trying to go forward in life one day at a time, but then things like this come out. So we saw, it's very small on your screen, we saw how Trump administration orders sweeping freeze of federal aid. So this is a political announcement or a political article, and in here they provide a link of the two-page memo that was sent out by the I believe it's OPM, or Office of Management and Budget. This guy, Matthew J. Vaith, acting director. Memorandum for heads of executive departments and agencies. And I guess there's a signature here, but I don't know if you can see it. It's a copy paste from like there's a different background to, like, it's more blue. The background's more blue than the white space. Like it's all just, man, they're just, I don't know, dude. This is the most unprofessional bullshit ever. I just saw a post about a memo sent out from Pete Hegseth, whatever that dude, that dumbass, the new head of the DOD, putting out DOD does not equal DEI or something like that. And I'm like, this is the most unprofessional shit ever. So I'm trying to keep my composure, and I want to just take some time to actually read this memo verbatim so you can get a gist of what is actually said. If there's a lot of misinformation going on out there, I apologize if I'm contributing to it. I'm trying not to. I just want to get this information out there and just put out my perspective as a veteran, as someone who has been around the block a bit, but I'm not like someone that's in charge of anything major, and I'm not a lawyer. I don't know any of these really. I don't know how a lot of things are structured. But we're just going to read this as a veteran, someone who's concerned with what's going on right now. So here's the subject: temporary pause of agency grant, loan, and other financial assistance programs. So they're talking about temporary pause of agency grant, loan, and other financial assistance programs by whatever Office of Management and Budget has the authority to halt. The American people elected to be president of the United States and gave him a mandate to increase the impact of every federal taxpayer dollar. Gave him a mandate to increase the impact of every federal taxpayer dollar. So that's their claim. In fiscal year 2024, they didn't even say FY, they just say fiscal year 2024, of the nearly $10 trillion that the federal government spent, more than $3 trillion was federal financial assistance, such as grants and loans. So they're talking specifically about grants and loans. Career and political appointees in the executive branch have a duty to align federal spending and action with the will of the American people as expressed through presidential priorities. Financial assistance should be, let's go back. Told you I'm getting screened for ADHD. Career and political appointees in the executive branch have a duty to align federal spending and action with the will of the American people as expressed through the presidential. What they're not saying here in this line is whether or not the president has the authority to do this. And I've been seeing a lot of posts about that, saying that the president doesn't necessarily have authority to just halt stuff that Congress is spending, although I've seen other posts arguing that he has a 45-day halt that he can add to something. So anyway, financial assistance should be dedicated to advancing administrative priorities, focusing taxpayer dollars to advance a stronger and safer America, eliminating the financial burden of inflation for citizens, unleashing American energy. Let's take this one piece at a time. There's trying to say a lot here. Financial assistance should be dedicated to advancing administration priorities. Why? Why is this true? Financial assistance should be dedicated to advancing administration priorities? No. It should be dedicated to advancing America's priorities, not the president administration. So that's a lie. This is a bold-faced lie put in document. Focusing taxpayer dollars to advance a stronger and safer America. There's no evidence that what they're doing is going to do this. Eliminating the financial burden of an inflation for citizens. Inflation has been caused, as we know, due to 1, the pandemic, 2, Jerome Powell getting rid of quantitative easing and raising interest rates, which they just recently started not raising them. I can't remember if they were kept to the same or lower. I've barely been paying attention, but when they got rid of quantitative easing, that's when they started messing up America's economy. That's when it all started. That's when inflation started impacting specifically poor Americans and not rich Americans. That's why there's a discernment between people that are middle class or wealthy who look and be like, I'm able to have a job and I'm able to work and I'm able to pay for everything I need. And then there's the rest of us, the 50% of America that are struggling, saying some of us are working and we're not making enough to even cover rent. I got cousins that are working right now who can't cover rent. They still live in their parents' house. That makes them homeless. Do you understand that? That validates them as being homeless under one of the descriptions. And I'm not sure what all those descriptions are, but they're not like out on the street with a grizzly beard, dirty, laying in a gutter somewhere, but they are homeless. There are people struggling, and he's claiming that this temporary pause is going to be eliminating the financial burden of an inflation for citizens. When you got a person like me who's been living substantially on just my VA benefits, this is questionable. Is this going to help? Is this even going to help citizens? Is it going to help me? Is it going to help anybody out there? And I don't want to say too much because I don't know if VA benefits are affected by this. I don't know. And you may look at it and say it's a grant or a loan, but like seriously, you don't know how things are divvied out, how things are paid out in such a way that they may be covered through a grant or a loan. You don't know. Unless you're like an expert or professional at this, you can't tell people what's going to be covered until suddenly you stop seeing checks, and then they're going to be arguing about it in courts. Like it's a nightmare situation. Unleashing American energy and manufacturing. That kind of shows there's a grift here, because they're saying temporary pause of agency grant, loan, and other financial assistance programs, and they're trying to tell you that it's going to be unleashing American energy and manufacturing. So they're purposely saying here that they're throwing a wrench in the payment process that the federal government puts out in order to, whatever this is, unleashing American energy and manufacturing, which is going to be the big energy, big oil companies and big coal and stuff like that. That's what they're talking about, is we're going to cutting agency grant, loan, and other financial assistance programs helps with unleashing American energy and manufacturing. Ending wokeness and weaponization of the government. We all know that nowadays ending wokeness means we hate you N-words. That's all it means. Wokeness is just a replacement for the N-word, and I'm not going past that. Promoting efficiency in government. Notice one thing here. If they're talking about pausing the agency grant, loan, and other financial assistance programs, if promoting efficiency in government was important, it'd be the first thing they mentioned. What was the first thing they mentioned? Dedicated to advancing administrative priorities. And apparently efficiency is not on top of that list. So there's your understatement there. And making America healthy again. So this is what's that dumbass's name? Robert Kennedy, RFK, who's over here talking about that they want to get rid of certain programs that keep Americans safe by making sure we're not eating toxic food and there's not, like, supplements aren't even regulated. They want to remove regulations, and the idea of making America healthy again is by cutting agency grant, loan, and other financial assistance programs. Read the words. This is checkers. This is not chess. They're not doing 4D chess. They're playing checkers. And all they did was make the board really big and just collect as many stupid pieces to just move around stupidly on a board and make everyone else think you're playing chess when they're just playing checkers. They're telling you plain as day right here. Make America healthy again. Ending wokeness, weaponization of the government. Unleashing American energy manufacturing. All of this is trying to be covered under the temporary pause of agency grant loan and other financial assistance programs. This is insane that they have the audacity to come out and boldface just say it right here in paper format, like a big group of idiots. This Matthew J. Vaith, whoever the fuck he is, are out here just saying this stuff straight to our face and pretending, hey, we're going to help you. In reality, where's the help? What help are they providing here by temporary pause of agency grant loan and other financial assistance programs like SNAP? The use of federal resources to advance Marxist equity, transgenderism, and Green New Deal social engineering policies is a waste of taxpayer dollars that does not improve the day-to-day lives of those we serve. What in the fuck is he talking about here? What is this? When did Democrats serve Marxist equity? When did they run on transgenderism? And what do you mean that getting rid of Green New Deal social engineering policy is that it doesn't improve day-to-day lives, when the whole point of it is that it's to improve day-to-day lives of people? This is pure, utter bullshit. But we can just cut this out and just pay attention to the rest of what they said before, as pointing out that it's a scam, it's a grift. There's something else going on here that they're not actually telling you. This memorandum requires federal agencies to identify and review all federal financial assistance programs. All. There is a caveat here with one. 2 CFR 200.1 defines federal financial assistance to mean assistance that recipients or subrecipients receive or administer in various forms, but this term does not include assistance provided directly to individuals. This is where I'm concerned, is because they're saying they're cutting all grants, loans, and such, but right now they're also putting in here in the fine print that, but this term does not include assistance provided directly to individuals. For the purpose of this memorandum, federal financial assistance includes all forms of assistance listed in paragraphs 1 and 2 of the definition of this term at 2 CFR 200.1, and assistance received or administered by recipients or subrecipients of any type, except, here's the exception, except for assistance received directly by individuals. So they're trying, like, that's why I'm questioning whether or not VA benefits are going to be part of this. But there's no telling how throwing this wrench is going to reciprocate down. Is it going to affect VA veterans? Is it going to affect homeless recipients? Is it going to affect SNAP? All these different programs that have already been bought and paid for by American citizens through taxes and approved of by Congress and signed by a previous president. This new president is trying to come in and say he's going to halt that and stop it and save American lives. Does that make sense to you, whether you're Republican or not? Does that make any sense? And this was a line note that they're trying to claim it's not going to affect individual payments or assistance received directly by individuals. But how do you know if you are one of those? How do you know if that's actually, if they're talking about getting rid of grants and loans that you may be being paid out to from? You understand that? This memorandum requires federal agencies to identify and review all federal assistance programs and supporting activities consistent with the president's policies and requirements. Then there's another second note here. Nothing in this memo should be construed to impact Medicare or Social Security benefits. So here they say Medicare and Social Security benefits. They only highlight two of their biggest programs. They don't mention VA benefits. They don't mention SNAP assistant welfare programs or Section 8 or anything like that. They don't mention that here. This is insane. Not only am I finding, first of all, I'm finding the inconsistency of the signature here where it's got like a green background. And then the paragraph here actually continues to the end of the note. That's how stupid this fucking administration is. They can't even get their formatting correctly. They fired the people that did the formatting already. Anyway, for example, during the initial days of his administration, President Asshole issued a series of executive orders to protect the American people and safeguard valuable taxpayer resources, including protecting them. Oh my God. Protecting the American people against evasion and reevaluating and realigning United States foreign aid, putting America first in international environmental agreements, unleashing American energy, ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs of preferencing, defending women from gender ideology extremism, restoring biological man. I don't even pay attention, and enforcing the Hyde Amendment. I don't pay attention to everything this asshole's been doing. What does this even mean? Restoring biological truth? What biological truth is there on gender on this on gender? What, you think if you have a penis, you are a man? Is that how this is supposed to work? Because what if you have both a penis and a vagina? What if you're hermaphrodite? What the fuck are they on about on this? This is pissing me off so fucking much. These executives, we're on page 2 finally. Sorry, I'm getting worked up, and I probably have all sorts of issues. These executive orders ensure that federal funds are used to support hardworking American families. How? The thing here is, their ideology is that if you're getting any kind of assistance from the government, then you're not a hardworking American family. You're not hardworking. I know plenty of people that are hardworking that end up on Section 8 on SNAP and whatnot, and it's like, even myself, dude, I was hardworking on VA benefits, collecting VA benefits, and then when everything compiled and just pushed me where I should have either bit a bullet or ended up homeless, the VA was there to protect me and make sure I didn't fall victim to that. And now it's like they're trying to say that we're not fucking hardworking when I got to this point in my life because I am hardworking and I burnt myself out. I'm beyond done. I am beyond done with this administration. Why did y'all vote this man back in? To implement these orders, each agency must complete a comprehensive analysis of all of their federal financial assistance programs to identify programs, projects, and activities that may be implicated by any of the president's executive order. Like, I just read that. I don't even know what it said. To implement these orders, each agency must complete a comprehensive analysis of all of their federal financial assistance programs to identify programs, projects, and activities. Programs, projects, and activities that may be implicated by any of the president's executive orders. Executive orders are not standing law, by the way. They're not. So he's doing this under where he's over saying, in the interim, to the extent permissible under applicable law, which there is such a law, I believe, federal agencies must temporarily pause all activities related to obligation and disbursement. Federal agencies must temporarily pause all activities related to obligation or disbursement of all financial assistance and other relevant agency activities that may be implicated by the executive orders, including but not limited. Here's another thing. Including but not limited to, meaning the things they're going to list here are just a subset of all the things that are going to be impacted that may be implicated by the executive orders, including but not limited to financial assistance for foreign aid, non-governmental organizations, DEI, woke gender ideology, and the Green New Deal. Notice here it's like lowercase. Like they are just making this shit up as they go. These are not real. These are not real things. Okay, do you understand? These are DEI, woke gender ideology, and the Green New Deal. These are not fucking things that the federal government has put in place. Okay, these are not things. This temporary pause will provide the administration time to review. I'm sorry if I'm reading all this and it might be getting cut off from my face over here and I'm not paying attention, but this temporary pause will provide the administration time to review agency programs and determine the best uses of the funding for those programs, consistent with the law and the president's priorities. How is this legal? How is this legal? There's no way in hell that it's legal that Congress allocates funding for particular projects, for particular programs and agencies that were agreed to by all three branches of the government, and then suddenly the new president comes in and says, no, We're going to make sure it follows my priorities. How is that legal? And why are people allowing this? Why are people bowing to this? Why do you bow and give $1 million to this, you dumbasses? What are you doing? Why are you allowing this? This is illegal. This is highly illegal. The temporary pause will become, God dang. The temporary pause will become effective on January 28th, 2025 at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern time? What is this? What are you saying? What are you saying here? What are you doing? And notice, they put it in effect January 28th, the end of the month, when they're getting ready to hand out all the disbursements. Things come in the federal government at the end of the month, usually into your bank account, into your situation, whatever you got going. I know that much at least. So they're putting the halt now. So none of us are prepared. I don't have savings lined up to cover my bills for next month. And if this does incorporate VA benefits, I can't get a job in under a month and get a job and get paid and get fired from because of my disability. That's going to lead me to like at least pay next month bills, but also damage me permanent. Like, what are you doing? What do you think? The point here is to inflict pain and suffering on his enemies. He looks at the American people as his enemies. Us Americans, especially us brown, disabled, female, non-particular gender at this point, like the whole spectrum of people that are not white, cisgender male are going to be Trump's enemies, okay? This is the point. I'm sorry I said his name. I'm trying not to say his name even though they're showing it here. He's got enemies that he wants to inflict maximal pain and suffering to. He doesn't care who gets wiped up in it. So the temporary pause happens at the end of this month today. Today's the 28th. It happens at 5 p.m. sometime. Pacific, Mountain, Eastern. I don't know when 5 p.m. comes. They didn't even articulate it here. They don't know how to issue out executive orders. Do you see? They don't know how to execute memos or legal documents. These guys are frauds. They're faking it. This is fake. This is a fake thing they're pushing and trying to make real. Please read this and look at it and say, what the fuck is this? Because that's what I'm doing right now. Even before completing their comprehensive analysis, federal agencies must immediately identify any legally mandated actions or deadlines for assistance programs arising while the pause remains in effect. So they want to make sure that you jump out and say, hey, this is also here. So like they want you to still snitch. Federal agencies must report this information to OMB along with an analysis of the requirement. OMB also directs federal agencies to pause all activities associated with open NOFOs, such as conducting merit review panels. I don't know what an NOFO. I don't see them stating what an NOFO is here. They just say NOFO. So they added a term here that I don't know if it's defined somewhere. No later than February 10th, 2025, agencies shall submit to OMB detailed information on any programs, projects, or activities subject to this pause. The reason why they're given this deadline is because it's temporary and legally they can only pause all this stuff temporarily. I think someone said, and don't quote me on this because I don't know the law, someone said maybe 45 days, okay? So they're adding, they want all this stuff in writing, they want all this sent up to them so they can pick and choose what they're going to just ask, which most likely will be all of it. Agencies shall submit to OMB detailed information on any programs, projects, activities subject to this pause. Each agency must pause. 1. Issuance of new awards. 2. Disbursement of federal funds under all open awards. And 3. Other relevant agency actions that may be implicated by executive orders, to the extent permissible by law, until OMB is reviewed and provided guidance to your agency with respect to the information submitted. So here's the key. To the extent of personable by law. I need some real like lawyer folks who can read this and say, hey, that means like maybe they don't have to even follow this memo, because I think I don't even know if this memo is legal except for the fact that they can do a temporary pause and such things like this. And since the pause is temporary, people can probably still disperse out funds and then just, I don't know, they'll probably try to take it back later, claw back later. Like, I don't know how it's going to happen. Like, for instance, like a bank may foot out your disability payments expecting the new disability payments to be coming in, and they may find out later that there were no disability payments and they might try to take it back. Like, I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know how it's going to work. Nobody can be clear on what's actually happening. They said in this memo that the exception is for assistance received directly by individuals. So I don't know what they mean. I don't know what the whole point of this is at this point. OMB may grant, am I still here? Yeah. OMB may grant exceptions allowing federal agencies to issue new awards or take other actions on a case by case. What is this? This is your opening right here. You can go case by case and say, we'll just continue this. Like, what? To the extent required by law, federal agencies may continue taking certain administration actions such as close out of federal, may continue taking certain administration actions such as close out. So they're saying that if there's some coming to expiration under this temporary thing, then they can still close it out or whatever. But how does it work if they're not allowed to disperse out payments or such? Are they allowed to still? Like, I don't know. Or recording obligations express required by law. Isn't it all required by law? Isn't it all required by law if it's already been signed and approved by Congress and the president? Like, what's going on here? Is this a show? Are they playing games with us? Additionally, agencies must, for each federal financial assistance program, assign responsibility and oversight to a senior political appointee to ensure federal financial assistance conforms to administration priorities. How is this legal? Review currently pending federal financial assistance announcements to ensure administration priorities are addressed and subject to program statutory authority. Modify unpublished federal financial assistance announcements. Withdraw any announcements already published, and to the extent permissible by law, cancel awards already awarded that are in conflict. How do you just cancel? How do you just cancel things that are already approved? Ensure adequate oversight of federal financial assistance programs and initiate investigations when warranted to identify underperforming recipients. Underperforming. What does that even mean? What does it mean to be an underperforming recipient? And address identified issues up to and including cancellation of award. This is the whole memo. This is the whole memo that was sent out. We don't know. We don't know what this program is going to actually do. And as far as we can see, like, there's plenty of holes in here potentially for a lawmaker to come out and say, or like a judge or someone to come out and just squash this. Like, we don't know. I don't know how this all is going to pan out, but a lot of this that I read, it just sounds like pure bullshit. This doesn't feel actionable whatsoever. Like, they can't even get the time of day right on here. They can't even get the formatting on here. Is this supposed to be a footnote? What if we just say this is part of the footnote? Like, how's that going to affect this memo? It's that you reading it can say, oh yeah, this is probably supposed to go up here. Like, there's errors in this memo. Like, this is bullshit, dude. I don't trust this. I don't trust. Why is the signature? Why is there a signature up here? Why is there not like signature at the end? What is going on with this formatting? And I don't read enough of these memos. Maybe this is normal. Maybe this kind of stuff is normal. But like reading through the wording, the verbiage, it's not very clear what it means. It's not clear it's so vague. And for everyone that reads this memo and say, oh no, we're gonna be fine, don't worry. Or anyone reading it saying, oh my God, we're all gonna die. Like, even myself was posting that earlier, that none of us know. None of us know what's gonna come out from this. And all I can tell you is that I'm on edge right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and just there we go. I did the wrong thing. So I'll just put it this way, and let me move over a screen because I got just a blue light out here. I am not doing well. That's the best thing I can put it. Like, even if I was getting my grant funding for my PhD right now and I didn't go through all the burnout or everything, I could potentially lose that because of this memo. And it may come out that my VA benefits that I'm relying on from month to month to make sure that I can just pay rent eat, and pay my bills, like that may stop. And I've just yesterday or the day before, I went through my finances and found out, even with I set myself a budget for like $35 a day, and I set that budget, and I'm still underperforming after like 2 weeks of being under $130, because of things like my cat getting sick and needing to take her to the vet and having these extra appointments, and like random payments I forgot that are still coming out of my account from when I actually used to have money that I need to go back and cancel or figure out how to, like, so many streaming services I've been getting rid of and that are still there. And it's like, dude, I am struggling. I am underwater. I am skipping meals. And I think yesterday was the first time in a couple weeks that I actually left my house and went to the store. All two of my tires are flat on my car, so I had to have a thing to pump up air in them. Anyway, I get to the store, everyone's angry. There's a lot of road rage everywhere, but there's not even a lot of cars. On the way to the store, I saw unmarked police cars that had the police lights on top, that were just sitting posted in different neighborhoods as I'm driving by, and I'm seeing them. I'm like, weird. I don't normally here in Indiana see cars with lights on top of them that don't have markings on the sides or back. So that's telling me those are probably ICE or some other undercover investigative thing, sting operation type thing that's going on right now. I've been seeing in the news how like even veterans got swept up in the ICE raids and almost got deported, had their own paperwork questioned. So like, I'm a veteran and I'm Hispanic and black, and I don't know how people look at me or what's going to happen if I go out in public. Am I going to be accosted by ICE? Am I going to be accosted by law enforcement? Is there going to be some crazy white redneck guy that just approaches me with a gun and threatens my life or actually takes my life? Is my family here in Indiana going to be affected by this? And the whole time that I was out at the store and then driving back home, I just felt so scared. And I don't know how to put it. It's so, when you feel like you're an enemy living in your home, like this is my home. This is my home city, my home state. This is where I'm from. This is where I was raised. This is where I've called home for several years now, whether or not I've traveled to different cities for different jobs, especially for the military, especially for like my first job out of college. I actually ended up out in Pittsburgh, and now it's like I'm back home in Indiana and I feel like an enemy in my own home. And I don't know when the hammer's going to come down on someone like me. I don't know when the hammer's going to come down on someone in my family. I just saw that the only black college in this city, my governor canceled 100% of funding to. So they halted Martin University's funding, which is insane. I didn't go there. I went to IUPUI, but IUPUI had already been split before the Trump administration took place, and the current governor was the senator here. So it's like these guys have been involved in destroying education and quote unquote DEI, which, like I said, it means the N-word. Anything that means black, brown, Hispanic, Asian, and not just that, they're tacking on gender. We know gender was going to be under attack, but also they're tacking on disability. And they started calling it DEIA, where A is the ability or whatever. I can't remember the terminology, but they're trying to say diversity, equity, inclusion, and ableism or something. There's some weird thing at the end for people that are disabled. And that's who this administration is choosing to attack, especially when you read this memo that we just went through. I'm not reading it again. It's sitting here right in front of my face, and I want to close it. So what am I doing? Well, I'm posting frantically on Blue Sky like an idiot. I need to stop that. I want to make this video and get it out there and have people look at it. I don't care how many mistakes are in it. I don't know how to video edit. I'm sorry. But we're just going to... I'm going to get this video out there. I'm going to make sure my cat gets fed and has water. And then I'm going to go try to do a walk-in appointment at the VA because this is rattling my brain. And I know everyone wants us to stay strong and help each other. If you're strong, if you can, please stay strong for us. if none of this is really affecting you that much, do what you can. If you really care about this kind of thing, like do what you can to like slow this down, stop it, or help someone that's actually like, I don't know right now if I'm in need. I might be fine. I don't know, but I really feel like I'm on the verge of like homelessness. I'm never gonna ask anybody for money. I'm never gonna ask for any kind of handout, with the exception of what's supposed to be coming to me from my VA compensation. And if they're gonna be halting that, and I have to struggle somehow to still find a job while I'm in this burnout state, I don't know what's gonna happen to me. But right now, I am fine. Right now, I have money in my, I have a roof over my head. I have a bed to sleep in. I have water. I have electricity. I have internet, Wi-Fi, food, all that. I have my cat. I have my family still around. These are some things that I can look forward to for the time being. I have a car. I can get around. And I still have a little bit of money in my account, even though I'm underwater a lot right now. And what's underwater a lot from me to you? If you heard about how much it was, you probably scoff it off. Most other people probably look at me like, ooh, that is a lot. And it's like, I don't know. So I'm going to try to just keep my head straight, stay ahead of this issue. And I'm going to run out to the VA now and go take a look, see if I can get a walk-in appointment. And I don't know, maybe someone can offer guidance on like, maybe I should just be volunteering for particular communities or something, and every day going out and fighting and helping these communities with whatever I can, like manual labor, or I don't know, getting outreach out. But I'm not a social person, and the only reason why I'm making these videos is because I've had years of just trying to like get my jitters out from under me, and like I've been wanting to make videos even though I don't like talking to people. So I don't know, we'll see. I like making music. I like making music. At some point I want to start making music openly on the internet, but trash right now. And I like doing coding, so I want to make videos on coding, even though I have some of them, they're still garbage. So I want to work on all those kinds of things. So I'm just trying to think right now, all these things rattling off of my head, things that can make my life better right now, just by thinking like this is my technique to ground myself and get back here in a moment. That everything, I can't guarantee everything's gonna be all right. Everything's fine right now. Nobody's coming at me right now. Nobody's taking anything. But these memos, these executive orders, these power grabs, we should be working to stop that. We should be working to fight and combat that, because they've got to be illegal. Parts of this has to be illegal. Parts of this has to be like you can stop it. It can't be that the president is the dictator now. We can't have that. This in America is that we have a king, we have a totalitarian dictator. There's no way in hell that that is the actual truth today. There's no way that that's the truth now. All you Democrats that are bowing to the Republicans that are saying we're going to be bipartisan, shut the fuck up. Figure it out, because you got to fight. You can't just accept it and take it all in. You can't just, I thought I heard police sirens. You can't just bow down to this administration when they're purposefully picking and choosing who their victims are going to be, as they're supposed to be leading the biggest, most complicated economies and militaries in the world. This is insane that we are allowing this to happen. I never thought I'd live to see the day that something like this starts to happen in this country. And a lot of people were preparing for it. And I started seeing it in 2015, but I still didn't know it was going to get to this point, that we would literally allow this, that we would literally say that this is fine. So I don't know, dude, like, anyway, I'm out. Try not to spread too much hate and animosity. I'm almost out. I got one more thing to say. I've been seeing people making fun of and laughing at like Hispanics that voted for Trump. Please don't. Dude, if they're getting deported, do you want someone laughing and pissing on you while you're in your lowest part of your life? Because that's you. If you're gonna sit there and laugh in the face of someone struggling right now because they had the audacity to support this bad president, these bad people, you're no better than them. You're sitting there saying, hey, it's your fault. And yeah, we can all sit there and say it's their fault for voting this way. But how did they vote? how did they get to the point of believing the information coming out of one person's mouth and not believing the other side, right? How do they not look at the other side and say, well, the other side's correct? Why didn't they do that? Okay, take the blame, as well as if you're going to sit there and shit on people that are currently getting deported, having their families split up from them, and just their lives ruined because they were disowned and scammed by the biggest scammer we ever elected to the White House. Why didn't the Democrats fight harder and actually win this election? Tell me that before you start fucking pissing on people that are doing way worse than you right now. You're sitting there in your bed looking, ha ha, they're getting separated. Meanwhile, they're probably in a damn concentration camp right now.